First at noon, here's a live look at the Hilton Waikoloa Resort on Hawaii Island, and you can see those palm trees swaying. Today is a first alert weather day as we expect those trade winds to get even stronger, impacting the state, really picking up this afternoon into Friday. There are a number of alerts up statewide. Let's get things started with meteorologist Drew Davis, who has everything you need to know. Drew.
Aloha, Ashley. Today and tomorrow are first alert weather days. This is a statewide event. Again, this is for starting this afternoon and will last until tomorrow for tracking strong winds and, of course, leeward fire danger. Several alerts are up across the entire state, and we'll take a look at the map right here. We have a wind advisory up over the eastern half of the state for parts of Maui County and Hawaii Island. Easterly winds between 20 to 30 miles per hour, sometimes gusting even higher than that, close to 40 miles per hour. And just yesterday, before the 4 p.m. newscast, the National Weather Service put a fire weather watch for all leeward areas, and that's going to be the case throughout Friday morning, throughout Friday afternoon. Taking a look at our wind speeds outside right now, out of the northeast in town, 25 mile per hour sustained winds. Again, wind gusts are much higher than that, and we're seeing some showers across the state, but not much rainfall over leeward areas. You may be asking, why are we seeing fire weather watches even though it's been raining off and on? Most of that rainfall has been over leeward areas. Taking a look at our drought monitor, we're going to go island by island. Hone caused a lot of rainfall and to eliminate drought over the Big Island, and then we're still seeing drought over leeward areas of the rest of the island chain. Coming up in my full forecast, I'll break this down even further, and we'll talk about our surf alerts that we have up statewide.
Thank you, Drew. Prepare now. That's the warning from officials as we expect dry and blustery conditions. That means if you live on the leeward side of an island, there's an increased risk of wildfires starting tomorrow. Because of the fire weather watch in effect tomorrow, Hawaiian Electric says it could possibly implement its public safety power shutoff program to mitigate risks. Now, HECO is urging you to prepare for outages and even possible evacuations. If you see a down power line, assume it is energized and call 911. And stay with Hawaii News Now for the latest forecast. You can scan the QR code on your screen to download our weather app. You can find the latest weather alerts and 7-day forecasts brought to you by our First Alert weather team every day. Well, state health officials are looking deeper into the detection of avian flu found during routine wastewater testing on Oahu. They held a news conference earlier today. Dylan Ancheta joins us now with the details. Dylan.
Thank you so much, Ashley. The sample that came back positive was collected from the Wahua wastewater treatment site on November 7th. Health officials explained it's too early to know if it is in fact the H5N1 strain of the avian flu, so they're doing more testing. If additional samples come back positive, it could raise the concern as they investigate potential causes. H5N1 is a type of avian flu, also called highly pathogenic avian influenza. So far, Hawaii has been the only state without a reported and confirmed case. This is something local egg and other livestock farmers are closely watching, but health officials say in terms of human impact, risk is low as there is no evidence of sustained human-to-human transmission.
Right now, this detection of H5 could be H5N1, but it also could be another type of avian flu virus that may not have the same impacts. So that's one of the questions we would like to solve. If we continue to see that signal, then we can look at where it's coming from and try to identify a source.
Now, symptoms of H5N1 are similar to that of regular flu. Officials say you should avoid contact with sick or dead animals to lower your risk of being exposed. And DOH officials said if a case is confirmed with this additional testing, their primary concern would be farm workers who are most at risk. Dylan Ancheta, Hawaii News Now.
Thank you, Dylan. Some scathing reports from the Inspector General of the Department of Defense over the Navy's handling of the jet fuel spill at Joint Base Pearl Harbor Hickam. The Inspector General determined Navy officials did not effectively manage the operations of the Red Hill bulk fuel storage facility in accordance with federal and state laws and DoD policy, nor did they respond properly to the fuel incidents. Now, the Inspector General also said Navy officials had multiple opportunities to prevent the November 2021 fuel incident, but they failed to take the precautionary measures. DoD made various recommendations to the Secretary of Defense and Secretary of the Navy for the spill that impacted more than 90,000 people and sickened more than 6,000. A 30-year-old man is dead after a crash in Waikiki, and police believe alcohol may have been a factor. It happened at around 9:45 last night on Montserrat Avenue near Kalakaua. That's right between the zoo and Kapi'olani Park. Police say the man was on a moped when he rear-ended a parked city bus. He was then pinned under the bus and needed to be freed by emergency crews. He was rushed to the hospital, but later died of his injuries. In addition to alcohol seeming to be a factor, police say the man was not wearing a helmet. Jury deliberations have begun in the manslaughter trial of former babysitter Dixie Villa. She's accused of giving 7-month-old Abigail Lobish a fatal dose of Benadryl at Alia Manu Military Reservation back in 2019. The defense argued there is not enough evidence to prove Villa was responsible, and it's unclear who had access to the child because 3 teenagers were also present in Villa's house. But prosecutors argued that testimony from witnesses and medical experts leave no doubt that Villa was responsible.
Yet the defense would have you believe that there is blame to go around. Blame Abby's mom, who may have taken a drug she was allergic to. Blame the detective for not collecting evidence 5 months after Abby died. Blame the medical examiner for concluding that Abby's death was from diphenhydramine toxicity and nothing else. Shift blame to everyone else, but ignore the defendant's actions and choices.
Not, oh, it must have happened this way. Not, I think it could have happened this way. Not, it probably happened this way. The government needs to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt.
Villa did not take the stand during the trial. After 5.5 years on the job, the head of Kauai's police department is stepping down to retire. Now, this comes just days ahead of a meeting with the police commission about the possible punishment for allegedly leaving his service weapon in a restroom. Hawaii News Now obtained an internal memo that Chief Todd Raybuck sent to the department yesterday. He says after nearly 40 years of service, he will step down next year to focus on his family and health. He did not mention a departure date. Kauai's Police Commission was scheduled to discuss disciplinary action for Raybuck, leaving a loaded Glock inside a KPD bathroom stall in March. Raybuck has missed nearly half of this year's monthly police commission meetings. Earlier this year, 2 officers filed retaliation complaints against him related to the investigation of his lost gun. And in 2021, he was suspended 5 days without pay for alleged racist comments. Now, a county spokesman says the chief's retirement is not part of a settlement for any complaints against him. Meanwhile, the State Police Officers Union said in a statement KPD has struggled with morale for years, and nothing short of a major change can jumpstart the effort to raise morale and provide an opportunity for a fresh start. A preservation group is pushing to repair a nearly century-old relic on West Maui sugar plantation, but as our Chelsea Davis reports, some wish it would be torn down.
Pioneer Mill erected this 225-foot high smokestack off Lahaina Luna Road in 1928. It has become a landmark here in Lahaina, but some Native Hawaiians say it's a constant reminder of the harm that was done to them.
130 years ago, it started with Pioneer Mill diverting all of our streams on the west side.
Kikaikeahi says some of the region's most pressing problems and deepest resentments are tied to Lahaina's first commercial sugar plantation.
There's a lot of good things about the plantation era where we had an intermingling of different ethnic groups, and that's fine. And in fact, that's great. But during the plantation era, especially Pioneer Mill, They were one of the main reasons why a lot of Hawaiians lost their lands. And the water issue that we talk about today.
Keahi says it was hurtful when some people called the smokestack a symbol of resiliency after the devastating 2023 fire. He and other Native Hawaiians believe it's a symbol of colonialism and a reminder that this coastline was once lush before the plantation began diverting streams to irrigate fields.
This fire never started on August 8th. It started 130 years ago. That smokestack is the representation of us losing our waters and turning Lahaina into the desert that it is.
After last year's wildfire, engineers noticed cracks in the structure's base, but the county says inspectors found no significant risk of collapse. The Lahaina Restoration Foundation said in a statement that the plantation provided thousands of jobs over its 139-year history, and many people in the community have been working to save the smokestack. Keahi says he and others wish it was torn down.
I wouldn't mind seeing that coming down.
The foundation says it is negotiating a lease with the landowner and will soon begin a fundraising campaign to pay for the smokestack repairs. Reporting in Lahaina, Chelsea Davis, Hawaii News Now.
To national news, President-elect Donald Trump may be in a confirmation fight over some of his more controversial administration nominations, including the embattled former Congressman Matt Gaetz. Nicole Skanga has more details from Capitol Hill.
I hereby resign as a United States Representative for Florida's 1st Congressional District, effective immediately.
The House clerk read former Congressman Matt Gaetz' resignation letter Thursday morning.
In light of the resignation of the gentleman from Florida, Mr. Gaetz, the whole number of the House is 433.
The resignation came just hours after President-elect Trump announced he planned to nominate Gaetz for Attorney General. But it also came just before Friday's House Ethics Committee vote on whether to release a report looking into a range of allegations against Gaetz, including sexual misconduct. Multiple sources tell CBS News 4 women have alleged they were paid to go to parties attended by Congressman Gaetz that included sex and drugs. The committee has Venmo transactions that allegedly show Gaetz's payments for the women. Gaetz has denied all wrongdoing. The Ethics Committee is still scheduled to meet tomorrow, and some senators are calling for the report to be released ahead of Gaetz's confirmation hearings for Attorney General.
The House Ethics report, would you want to see it before voting on him?
I don't want there to be any limitation at all on what the Senate can consider.
Trump has already called on Senate Republicans to allow recess appointments for his cabinet picks. The move would enable the president-elect's picks to forego Senate confirmation.
As I've talked to colleagues, there are some real concerns about whether or not the Senate will unilaterally give away its critical confirmation power.
The president has total authority to make recess appointments. It's right there in the Constitution.
New Majority Leader John Thune says he's not ruled out recess appointments, but would prefer the Senate hold confirmation hearings. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
Just ahead on This Is Now, the re-election of Donald Trump has led to a surge in demand for birth control. Will the new administration push for limits on access to abortions and contraception? Plus, the holidays are taking over Honolulu Hale. We'll take you to the installation of the City Lights Christmas tree when we come back. After yesterday's deadline passed for Hawaii voters to cure any deficiencies on their ballots, we now know how those changes affected local races. On Oahu, those added ballots tightened the House race. In District 39, incumbent Republican Elijah Purick maintains the lead and wins by just 11 votes over Democrat challenger Corey Rosenlee. And on Maui, county elections officials say 298 voters out of more than 1,000 fixed the problems with their ballots. In the race for South Maui Council seat, incumbent Tom Cook maintains a 97-vote lead over challenger Kelly King. Candidates have until November 25th to file an appeal. Meanwhile, in the days since the presidential election, women have started preparing for the start of a new Trump administration. For many, that means stockpiling contraceptives in case a conservative agenda includes limits on access to birth control. Carolyn Cummings has the story.
What do we do? When the United States Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, providers reported sales surging for emergency contraceptives. Now there's a similar spike 2 years later following the election. Winx Health reported a 966% increase in sales of their morning after pill. Another company, Wisp, reported a 1,000% increase in sales from November 5th to 6th.
People have expressed fear and worry about their ability to access both abortion care and contraceptive care under a new administration with President-elect Trump.
In addition to the morning after emergency contraceptives, requests for long-acting birth control like IUDs have surged too. And companies that sell abortion pills say people are stockpiling the medications. Women's health care providers say for now they're ready to meet the demand.
Should anybody at home have concerns about it running out?
At this point, no. I think most of the manufacturers of both the abortion pill medications as well as contraceptives in Plan B understand the demand.
Republicans will control Congress next year when President-elect Donald Trump returns to the White House, giving him more power to implement his agenda. Trump said in a social media post earlier this year that he will never advocate for restrictions on birth control.
I'm encouraged and hope that the most recent promises from the campaign are true.
While many are hoping they're true, others are taking no chances. Planned Parenthood says appointments for IUDs increased by 760% the day after the election. Caroline Cummings, CBS News, Minneapolis.
And stick around. Coming up after the break, I'll give you the details on our First Alert windcast. Winds are expected to grow this afternoon and peak in speed tomorrow. Happy Thursday, everybody. Again, the forecast calls for strong winds and fire danger as we're going into this upcoming Friday. Today and tomorrow are first alert weather days because of the strong winds that we're seeing out there. Let's take a look at the map where we have that first alert weather day as well. This starts this afternoon and will last throughout tomorrow. That fire weather watch went up yesterday by the National Weather Service starting at just before the 4 p.m. newscast. And you got the first alert from us. We do also have a wind advisory over the eastern half of the state for parts of Maui County and over on Hawaii Island. That's going to continue throughout this weekend until 6 a.m. on Saturday, but winds will remain gusty as we're going forward throughout Saturday and Sunday. Taking a quick look at your first alert windcast. Take note of the time here. This is this afternoon around 3 p.m. when the winds are going to be the strongest throughout Thursday. Sustained winds 20 to 25 miles per hour. Some of those winds getting a little bit stronger, and of course they will be seeing we will be seeing wind gusts higher than that as we go into the overnight hours. This is 2 a.m. tonight. Sustained winds between 15 to 20 miles per hour, and that's typically when we see the weakest winds across the entire state. They'll continue to grow throughout tomorrow morning, and then you see tomorrow around lunchtime, around noon, 15 to 20 miles per hour, sometimes gusting higher than that. Taking a look, I do want to invite you to download the Hawaii News Now First Alert Weather app. I'll leave this QR code up just a little bit so you can scan it, but we are doing a really good job putting content on this around the clock. It is separate from our HNN News app. It's completely focused on weather. You can get video forecasts from our entire Hawaii News Now First Alert Weather team, a look at current conditions, and also take a look at the First Alert radar and satellite at any time. We also have high surf advisories up on north and west facing shores and also on east facing shores. Now the northwest advisory ends at 6 p.m. today. Eastern advisories will be around 6. They will end at 6 a.m. on Saturday. The reason for that, of course, is because of these breezy trades pushing a lot of energy towards east facing shores. East facing shores around 7 to 10 feet will continue to rise. High surf advisory up until Saturday, and this is for this afternoon. Taking a quick look at that swell forecast, it's going to be moving away off to our southeast. That northwesterly swell is. Our first alert 7-day forecast today and tomorrow are first alert weather days. Strong winds and fire danger are the headlines, and a couple of windward showers. Make sure to stick around. We'll be right back after this short break.
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas at Honolulu Hale. Using a crane, city crews installed the centerpiece of the 40th annual Honolulu City Lights celebration, a 55-foot cook pine from Aiea. Now, Mayor Rick Blangiardi there in the white hard hat even helped position the Christmas tree into place. The opening night festivities, including the City Lights block party and Public Workers Electric Light Parade, will be held on Saturday, December 7th. And there will be a lot more lights and displays for the 40th year of the iconic holiday celebration.
Casey Lund gives us a sneak peek.
As we prepare for the 40th year of Honolulu City Lights, something that has become a tradition, the Friends of Honolulu City Lights have put so much work in over the years to really make special each holiday season. We're in a new space of Honolulu City Lights, and something that actually takes me back a little bit.
Are you ready?
You might be. Okay. Oh! 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 Oh!
Come in hot, buddy. Come in hot.
Yeah, that was a rough fall I had there.
That was a rough. I was like, I'm coming in hot. You was just focusing. You was laser focused on the show, and then you were laser focused on the ground.
Mike Gangloff is with us, who you saw in that video, creator of Show Aloha Land. And you know what? Of course, with what's happening at Aloha Stadium, not really an option. So we're grateful the Friends of Honolulu City Lights have allowed the Show Aloha Land folks to kind of join the party over here, right?
Yeah, the mayor and his team, Mori Mamazuka, Chastity, and Honolulu City Lights, Friends of Honolulu City Lights, and the whole team just coming together in a collaboration to bring this for the community and bring some smiles.
Very cool. And I want to take us back, though, because I want to talk about Show Aloha Land as well as we get ready for Honolulu City Lights and this kind of cool partnership. This was something that started out of COVID, right?
We had COVID because there was no Honolulu City Lights in 2020. Because of COVID. And then we developed a drive-through show to bring to the community, and that went berserk. You know, I mean, you were there for every year.
I have a lot of memories there, and we have, of course, this community has so many great memories with Honolulu City Lights, and what a tradition this is. So so awesome to see you folks, the Mura construction crew, out setting all this stuff up, adding to it. You've got, tell me what some of the elements you're bringing to Honolulu City Lights, to the grounds, the Civics grounds here.
So we get 2 100-foot tunnels, one at the beginning of our side and one at the end. We get trees on Alapa'i, motifs on Beretania, traffic management center's got trees out there. So we're trying to bring this whole thing to like one overall look where people could walk through, and then people could drive around as well too if they didn't want to walk. And then we're bringing trains, all for free.
Awesome, awesome. Mike Gangloff with us from Show Aloha Land. Of course, they're partnering with the Friends of Honolulu City Lights to make this a really special occasion. There's so much to look forward to. We want to remind you the big kickoff to all the festivities happening December 7th. With the mayor's tree lighting ceremony, the electric light parade, and then it's just almost a full month of fun and a great time right here on the Civic grounds. All free, all thanks to the Friends of Honolulu City Lights partnering with the Friends of Show Aloha Land. So a great opportunity to get some Christmas joy this holiday season. We're going to send things back into the studio for now.
Thank you, Case. Can't wait to check it out December 7th. And stay with What You News Now. We're going to have more headlines first at 4, along with what's going on with these First Alert weather days.